And Wade, what do you remember about the proposed Hugle Run Lake that was supposed to be constructed in Pierce Township, but it never happened?
The only thing I know is what I read in the paper, that they were going to put it in, and they had a few meetings on it, and there was a drawing in the paper, and then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything more about it. So I have to assume it was either lack of money, or it was because 172 was in the way and it was going to cost too much to build a bigger bridge or causeway. It just seemed to disappear from, nobody talked about it anymore.
Where was the lake supposed to be? Could you give us some landmarks and some roads?
Well, if I remember right, it's on this Hugo Run. Would be a little, about 1/3 of it looked like it was north of 172, and the majority of it, like 2/3, would be south of 172, going towards the golf course on Fox Avenue. But I don't know where it ended. But I would assume it would have to end before you got to the Pennsylvania Railroad tracks, because you know, the railroad at that time, they weren't going to let up the right-of-way. So I'd say it ended there, or before there. Again, there was not that much specifics. There wasn't that much information out. It must have just petered out. That's the only thing I know.
Is there much talk about Hugle Run Lake today? Do many people around the Minerva, Pierce Township area remember it?
No, because until you mentioned it, I'd almost forgot about it, because there was never that much publicity about it. And the Lake Mohawk went in at Malvern, and that got all the attention. So Hugo Run thing, it just was put on the back burner, and it must have skipped most people's minds. And I suppose most of the property owners are all gone now that were involved, that had that property give up. So I don't think there's many people to go ask. I wasn't very old at the time, 22 years old. So that's all I seem to know about.
The Ohio Department of Natural Resources did a big study in 1958 on the proposed Hugle Run Lake, and it never happened. But if it would have been built, it was going to be for recreation, boating, water. It sounded like it would be maybe even a little bit of a tourist attraction. Would you have liked to have seen the lake actually be built? Do you think that would have been a good thing for the area?
Well, it wouldn't have done any harm, and people at that, the gasoline was cheap. It didn't cost much to put gasoline in a boat and boat all day. I think it would have been a good thing. And people were really buying big horsepower motors for their cars, so boating was just coming into good. Because I bought that right before that time. A 25 horsepower motor, outboard motor, was the biggest you could get. So if they probably would have put a horsepower limit on it, but I think it would have went. It's just one of them pages of history that got forgot about again.